Hello everybody, it's me Keegs back with a brand new video, and in today's video I am going to be reviewing the Goosebumps Slappy World book, I Am Slappy's Evil Twin. So I read it in this book right here. This is a two-in-one. It features I Am Slappy's Evil Twin, which I will be reviewing in this video. And please do not feed the weirdo. Those are two Goosebumps Slappy World books. I haven't read the weirdo one yet. But I plan on reading that next. I'm currently reading The Babysitter Part 4, and after I read that, I'll read the Weirdo. But as you can see, I'm doing something different in this video. We have a little spooky background going on over here, as you can see. And also, there will be a sort of channel update at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said and done, let's get right into this review. Okay, so heads up before I begin, I will be going over the details of the book and what happened, so there will be spoilers in this video. So this will be a spoiler review for I Am Slappy's Evil Twin. Now, out of all the Goosebumps Slappy World books I've read so far, which three of them, including this one, have been Slappy books, and then one of them wasn't, which was It's Alive, It's Alive. Out of all the Slappy books I've read from Slappy World, this one, I Am Slappy's Evil Twin, has so far been my favorite. The first one I read was Ghost of Slappy, which was okay. The premise was cool, but I felt like Stein could have done more. And then there was The Dummy Meets the Mommy, which was a pretty fun read, but um, it was kind of just Slappy being silly and trying to defeat a mummy because he wants to terrorize some kids. Um, this one was very interesting. The prologue starts off with sort of like an origin story for Slappy and even an origin story for Mr. Wood in this book. Um, so the origin version in this book is that Slappy and Mr. Wood and Slappy's twin brother, whose name is Snappy in the book, by the way. Yes, his twin brother's name is Snappy. Um, was made by like some guy named Franz Mayheer, and he was sort of like he would make puppets and stuff, and he worked with like a magician named Kandu or Kandu. I'm not sure on the pronunciation on that. Um, except he later finds out that Kandu was sort of like an evil sorcerer and was actually bringing his puppets to life. Well, he did that to Franz's most the dummy he used throughout all his life was Mr. Wood, and Kandu brought him to life, and Mr. Wood basically told Franz to uh, back off, go away. I don't want to work with you anymore. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. And so that was kind of like Mr. Wood's origin, and in this book, and it's the first time Mr. Wood has ever come up in like the Goosebumps series since the original Night of the Living Dummy. Of course, we all know like this origin is not canon anymore, and because of Slappy Beware, which let's be honest, made possibly what happened in Slappy Beware with the origins isn't gonna be if Stein does another Slappy book and he wants to change the origin a little bit, he can do that. But I kind of wish they kind of had like a consistent one. That's kind of why I feel like the new Goosebumps show, is kind of combining the origins to have something a little coherent for the show. Um, but back to the book, yeah. So Franz, he moves away. He decides not to be a puppeteer anymore, basically. Um, and he still makes puppets, and he knows the magic to bring them alive. He learned it from Kandu, and he does that with his puppets. And villagers find out, they don't like it. It's kind of the same vein as what we see in Slappy Beware, except that it was Ephraim who was just a sorcerer and he enjoyed making puppets, even though he wasn't really a puppeteer from or he was, but like it's all like all these magicians and puppeteers. It's getting a bit confusing. Stein need to condense that, like I said, like the show's doing. Um, he makes Slappy, and Snappy brings them alive. The villagers don't like it. They attempt to burn one of the dummies because they think it's evil, and then like it's they leave, and then he brings out Slappy and Snappy, because they took a decoy dummy. So anyways, the prologue basically ends with him, Slappy and Snappy. They're all laughing evilly, and then we skip to like the present day. Now, one of my favorite things about this story was that it's set in Hollywood, and they actually pretty much thought it was pretty cool at using Hollywood as a setting, especially like putting Slappy and Snappy in there. So the main character is this boy named, I believe it was Luke. Let me see. Yeah, Luke. So Luke Harrison and his sister Kelly. So Luke, his sister Kelly, and their friend Jamal, they're building this drone and stuff. And Luke and Kelly's father is like a movie director. He kind of directs like uh I guess you'd say like B horror movie types. He got a movie directed called Attack of the 200-Foot Dash Hound, I think it was called. Which when I read that title, I was like, I would go see a movie like that. I would definitely see a movie like that. Um, and he's working on a new movie called I Married a Dummy. And so while Luke, Kelly, and Jamal are messing with the drone they're building and stuff, Slappy and Snappy show up and like they're already alive. This is the only book so far in the Slappy series where the words aren't read to bring them to life. So we'll see. It was very interesting, and that Stein did that. Will he ever do it again? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So I kind of wondered myself if maybe their dad read the words, but usually whoever reads the words becomes Slappy's target. Um, and in a way, their dad does kind of become a target, but for like different reasons. Not for like reading the word. So yeah, Slappy and Slappy show up and they begin telling the kids and everything, and the kids kind of figure like, oh, it's one of their dad's jokes that they're animatronics and stuff. So the dad shows them, of course, like the dummies, they go lifeless and stuff, and the kids are like, oh, very funny, Mr. Harrison. You really had us there. And the dad's like, "Mm, no, they're just dummies. They're not animatronics or anything." So that's my dog shaking off right there. Girl, she just came in, probably needs to go outside again. So yeah, so he shows them, they check out the dummies out. They're not animatronics. So he brings them into the house, and of course it's Hollywood, so he owns like a big house, right? And they put him in like part of his house has like all the props from his movies and stuff. So they put him in like a glass case, and the dummies continue like terrorizing the kids, which gets them into like trouble with their dad. One thing that happens is like they try to get video footage of dummies. First they try the phone, which Sabi ends up breaking. Um, and then they try to use a GoPro, which they didn't even turn on. The scene where they try to capture them with the GoPro, they sneak up into like the attic where they're being kept, and Slappy is just like he's doing this whole charade of where he's pretending to be a movie star. It's like, oh, give a good side and all this and everything. And so now about Snappy, let me talk about Snappy for a second. So in the books, what we see with Snappy is he's kind of portrayed as like the opposite of Slappy, um, where he's more good. He doesn't like violence. Of course, the book is called "I Am Slappy's Evil Twin," so take with that what you will about his the way he acts in the story. Of course, there is the twist at the end, as always with these books. So, Slappy and Snappy are gonna be used as the props for this new movie their dad is directing. I Married a Dummy, and then he plans to sell them to different collectors, which makes Slappy very unhappy because he doesn't want to be separated from his brother or anything. So they kind of plan on messing with the kid's dad for doing that, or at least Slappy does. Um, and then they end up getting the kids in trouble with a whole bunch of things. They lock Luke up in the case, um, and then they also make him insult a major like executive producer for like their dad's movies and stuff. So it ends up then them being punished, and they were gonna be extras in a movie he's working on, right? Girl, would you stop that? He's trying to get all up in my bag. So so what ends up happening is they decide they get punished, okay? And one of the major things that was going on was the drone building. Their dad was helping them with it, and he had like a propane that they were going to use for like a propane tank that they were going to use for liftoff. Um, I don't know much about drones, so I don't really understand like dynamics with that. But basically, the tank comes up missing, and the kids figure out, oh, the dummies took it, and so they like they get a taxi to go to the studio, and they got to sneak into the studio because they're not supposed to be there, and they end up ruining a whole scene only to find out that it was their dad that took it, or that he didn't take it, he moved it, so it wasn't it was still at the house, and of course Slappy is messing with them the whole time, making them think that it was him that took it, and that they were planning on blowing up the studio or something. And so they end up back at the house, and dummies has followed them. And then there's a whole bit with the dummies where they get into a fight, and Slappy throws Snappy into the tank, and it explodes. So there's a big explosion. Um, and they end up like the dad arrives. He's like, "I followed you home," and he saw the dummies alive. So now he knows they're telling the truth, and they pick up one of the dummies, they realize it's Snappy, and they decide to keep him because he's nice. And then the twist, which I will not ruin here. I will not ruin the twist, but it spoilers. It is called I Am Slappy's Evil Twin, not I Am Slappy's Good Twin. So yeah. So anyways, I give this book like I really enjoy. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. It's one of my favorite new Slappy books that I've read in a while. Um, I've only it's been a while since I read Goosebumps, read a lot of the original series, especially the Night of the Living Dummy books. They were my favorite. Uh, my really favorite one was the Goosebumps 2000 book, Slappy's Nightmare, which was the last one I ever read. Actually, no, Revenge of the Living Dummy was the last one I ever read, but I don't really remember it too well. So, but I will be doing a review on that in the future, as we'll get into like the channel update at the end of this. But yes, a 10 out of 10 for this one. It was very fun. Love the Hollywood setting. I really love Slappy in this, like his personality. Like I felt like he didn't really do much in Ghost of Slappy, and then like he did stuff in the Dummy Meets the Mummy, but um, it was basically him having to deal with the mummy was like the gist of it, right? So, anyways, yeah, 10 out of 10 for this one. Very fun. And one thing I want to point out is like the cover. Um, the cover you can see Snappy. I don't know, it's not gonna show on my screen. Sorry. So Snappy is the one standing in the background. Slappy is the one in front. And see Snappy has a gap in his tooth, and he also has a little chip in his forehead. So that's kind of how you tell the difference between them on the cover. I think there's some other differences too also you might notice. But in the book, the way you tell the difference between them is that Slappy has green eyes and Snappy just has black eyes. I don't know if they meant like dark brown, um, or if his eyes were just like full on black. I'm gonna guess black because that's how Stein described them. Yeah, 10 out of 10 for this one. Very fun read. Right, so channel update. As you know, we are gonna quickly October's ending, so Chucky Bumps is gonna be ending. I do have some more Chucky movie reviews that are gonna be coming out. It's Wednesday, and tonight is the mid-season finale for Chucky season 3. So there will be a review on that tomorrow. The Goosebumps side of things, of course, I'm still be reviewing the Goosebumps episodes going into November for the new series, but I'll be doing them on. They will be uploaded on Saturdays, and Saturdays I am making. I'm planning on having like each day be focused on like a different thing, which the videos that are released on that day will be related to whatever the theme of that day is. So Saturdays I'm calling Stein Saturdays, so those videos will be related to anything R.L. Stein related, like Goosebumps, the show, the books, um, the movies, the series. We'll be doing more book reviews. I am starting to recollect the original series and along with all the other series. I have like the first four books coming in, probably gonna be here Friday. So I'll have reviews on those. I've never read those first four, and I'm very excited. I think I read Say Cheese and Die, and I've read Monster Blood. So Welcome to Dead House and Stay in the Basement are two books I've never read, so I'm very excited about that. So if you guys looking forward to that. So Stein Saturdays that will be starting in November. And anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like, leave a comment down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Love you guys.